Hello and happy Thursday. My name is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guides tip of the day. The date is July 17th, 2025, and our tip today comes from the book Voir dire, an Opening Statement by Nick Raleigh, Courtney Raleigh, and Wendy Saxon. One of the most important things to do in the opening statement is to destroy, discredit, or at the very least embrace the defenses that the jury is going to hear the moment you sit down. Destroy, discredit, or embrace. I always like embracing, and if you can destroy or discredit, yeah, all the better. What that means, though, is credibly and indisputably destroying or discrediting, right? Not that, well, our expert's going to say this, but their expert says that, but something that's very clear, right? To me, I'm always looking for how to embrace, because we all agree on this. And by embracing it, it actually takes it out of the equation, and we're still right because this. So, yeah, I give the example I always go to was a case I had, and it was a man who was run over and killed in a driveway to a grocery store, and the defense liked to say that there was no way, it was very difficult for their driver to see anybody coming out of the grocery store because of where they stopped the window, the A-frame, the mirror, the pillar at the grocery store. This all blocked the view, and so the truck driver never saw this man leaving the grocery store, and then ran him over. And we had an expert that said, no, that would have been very visible, most likely, depending on exactly where the truck was. Well, as I looked at it, I just embraced that. Okay, what if they're true? What if what they're saying is true? Then what that meant was the truck driver stopped in the place where his view was the most blocked by his mirror and his A-pillar and by the pillar of the grocery store. So first of all, don't stop your truck there. And if you have to, then get out and look, or get a spotter. Don't pull forward in a grocery store's driveway when you can't see. It's driving blind. So that's a way of embracing what the defense has said. I don't need to fight the lack of visibility to discredit or disprove it. I just embrace it. Say, all the more reason you should have been more careful. No, there's other times when that just won't work. And if you, again, can disprove or discredit, great. But think of those options, and absolutely, whatever it is, make sure that you're addressing and not just ignoring what the defense is going to get up and say in their opening. Another example I can give was I had a trial, and I knew the defense was going to rely on the signs. It was a truck crash that happened in a construction zone, and I knew they were going to say there was a sign here and there and there, and all these signs should have alerted the plaintiff. And so I made sure I talked about every one of those signs in my opening. I taught about the signs and why they were inadequate. And so defense was just not, they're usually not that nimble, right? So even though I went over that, they had a defense they had paid a bunch of money for, and they didn't feel they could change. And so they had brought in big life size, if you've ever seen them, they're huge signs that were in the construction zone. The driver of the car passed this sign and passed this sign and passed this sign, and just repeated all the things I had just taught about. And the idea was, and the last sign was like a half a mile before the truck construction entrance, so it warned of it for miles back and a mile back, but then not again. I think actually the last one might have been a mile back. And so I talked about every one of those signs, and that a sign, if it's too close, isn't helpful, or if it's too far back, isn't helpful. So the jury was hearing it through the framework that I'd already given them. So the idea is to make sure you think through, what is the defense's strongest argument? What are they likely to present in opening? And how can you disprove, discredit, or embrace that so the jury hears it from you first? One of the advantages we have as plaintiffs' lawyers is we get to go first. Let's take a deep breath together and be grateful to be alive this Thursday. May the work that we do today help reduce suffering in the world. May the work that we do exemplify law at its finest, law as a guiding and unifying force in society. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate and champion our clients' causes. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. This can take you into a meditation practice, a prayer practice, or just let the sounds wash over you. May you hear the sounds, let them penetrate into you. And may it remind you to wake up, go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.